How's everyone doing today? Today, we're just gonna go over the Bitcoin chart and see where we are in this market cycle. So I have this Bitcoin chart open here. Actually, let me go to the BLX. BLX. So this gives you one of the longest histories of Bitcoin. So what I wanted to show was, actually, go back to. Let's go back to this one actually. So what I wanted to show you guys is we currently, if we zoom in here, we've got rejected right at a very key resistance. So we just got rejected right off of a very key resistance. And, that's something that I did kind of expect. It was to get rejected because this resistance is all the way from the summertime of last year. And so let me just pull it in here. So from summertime of last year, so this is a very key resistance. So I did expect this to get rejected. However, if we look on the weekly time frame, what I have here is a divergence on the weekly time frame. So we made a low here and a higher low, but on the divergence we made a higher low and a lower low. So that's a bullish hidden divergence. So it's showing a continuation pattern. So while we did get rejected here, I am expecting that anticipating that we actually cross over this trend line and make higher highs. So that's what I'm anticipating, as well as normally whenever the stochastic RSI is at the bottom here and we cross up, we have a very big increase. If we look down here, we had an increase from all the way down here to 92% when it crossed, and then we also had it over here when it was crossed down here. We had 20%, and then it went all the way up to about 45%. And even when we began the bear market, when it was down here and we crossed up, we had increases of 30% and as well as 40%. So the thing is what I would be cautious of doing is selling everything now, because let's say we were in a bear market, because anything's possible. So if we were in a bear market, you may still get another 20%, 30% rally. It may even come up here and retest the highs and get rejected. Now at that point, if that's what you think, then maybe you'd sell at that time. But selling now, for me, I don't think makes that much sense. As well as NVT. So this is the network value of transactions of Bitcoin, and whenever it flashes white, so this is the weekly time frame. So whenever it flashes white, it's normally bearish. So we flashed right here all throughout the 2020 run. We were actually flashing red. So we went from 10,000 all the way to 60,000, and we were flashing red all throughout the whole bear market, or I would say the bottom of the bear market here. We weren't red. We were gray. So whenever it's gray, that's when you want to, maybe either sell. So like right here, when it was gray, it kind of was an indicator that, we could have some more downside. Then it flashed red, and then it came down again. Same here, and then it flashed red again. We increased up here in the chart. But same like in here, that we flashed gray, and we were here, and there was still more downside. So we had about 32% more to the downside when it flashed gray. So flash gray, flash red. Now we're back into the red. So that's another indicator that you can add confluence to increase your bull case. So that's where I think we are in the market. As well as if we look here on this chart, this is the USDT dominance versus Bitcoin. So let's look here. So anytime during the 2020 all the way to 2022 run, anytime Bitcoin has The dominance has hit up here, around the hit up here. The Bitcoin has increased. So anytime the dominance goes up, the USDT dominance goes up, Bitcoin goes down. And anytime we get up here at this resistance level, we normally have a fall, and immediately after, Bitcoin increases in price. So right now we're here. We had a fall just like as the dominance rose, and then when the dominance falls, Bitcoin normally rises because it shows that the stablecoins are going into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So right now, currently where we are at is we're at the top here, and we got rejected. And just like clockwork, Bitcoin starting its ascension. So we could see further downside here. There's always potential that, it comes up and reverses here and then we make a higher high. But I don't think that will happen. I think this is a strong rejection, and we'll be heading to the bottom of this band right here. So that's what I do believe that's going to happen. So we could be in store for higher highs on Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people do believe like, hey, Bitcoin is definitely in a very different territory than it's been in the last cycles where institutions are adopting it. But you always got to keep in mind that there's always something in every cycle that Bitcoin gets a little more of. In the last cycle versus the cycle before, Bitcoin always becomes a bit more mainstream every time during these cycles. So what we got to keep in mind is that though we have more adoption coming, there will be a bear market at some point. We will definitely have a bear market. So just keep that in mind. I do believe we're in the last leg of this bull run. We've increased, over 600%. And then if we take it from the COVID lows, we've increased about, 1,400%. So that's measuring from the top to bottom. So we could see prices of 100,000 or more. Like if we look at so if we put on the log, so we put on the log regression bands. So let me put this one on the log scale. Okay, so let's look here. So right now, Bitcoin is normally in every cycle. So if I go to the BLX, let's go to the BLX. So normally in every cycle for Bitcoin, sorry for all these extra lines, Bitcoin normally reaches the top of each band. So we can see here on the log regression that Bitcoin from 2011 touched the top. 2013 we touched the top. 2017 we touched the top. And right now I do believe that we do have a lot of way before we get to the top of this band. So right now we could reach all the way up to 160K. If we're gonna touch the top today, it would be 158. So one thing to keep in mind is over here, people thought there was gonna be way higher highs, and over here, once we get to the top of this log band, we're gonna think we're gonna go to 700K, a million. There's so much adoption, but we always got to be cognizant of the fact that markets ebb and flow, and that's been one thing that has helped me out in the last just almost 3 years, is knowing that markets ebb and flow. So just keep that in mind, that once we hit the top, sure, it could definitely go higher, but if we're up here and you bought down here, you could take 50% off the table, and just be grateful that you got in and made gains and kept gains. So think about it like that. Think about being grateful that you can keep the funds instead of feeling greedy and then eventually losing it. All right. So thank you so much for the video today. I have content out for you guys just to navigate where we are in the bull market, and I'll be here as well in the bear market. Cryptocurrency is a great financial opportunity, and you should definitely take advantage of it while it's still available. Thank you.